Hey guys, so I have been requested to crochet a basic pattern for you all to learn from for those who want more practice at crochet, and this is something that I have thought about not doing because I actually hold my crochet hook different from most people, so I don't know if I'm the best person to learn from, but I figure that the more knowledge we can have the better, so let's try and make a basic beanie together. So this hat pattern is something that I use for every single hat that I make that is novelty or just a beanie. Excuse me, it's just the hat that I use, and the pattern originally came from repeatcraftedme.com, so I will leave that link below. All of her hat patterns for her novelty hats come from this base hat pattern, so I thought it would be a really handy one to learn if you want to make novelty hats in the future, or if you just want to make a really nice beanie that fits the head of most Reborns very well. So what you'll need is a ball of yarn of your choice. I'm just using white for today's video because it's easy enough to see and I have a lot of it. So I'm using a 12 ply 4 Seasons Marvel yarn. But for those in America, you're very lucky. You have a lot of source to most weights that are used in patterns online, and it's worsted weight or 10 ply yarn. So there is a lot of range over there that you can choose from to fit this pattern style. And I have a tighter tension than most people, so the 12 ply works really well for me to match up to the pattern requirements. This is a pattern that I know off by heart now, so I don't actually have it in front of me to read out to you or anything like that. So we'll do it step by step, and we're also going to use a size 5mm hook or an H. I'm just going to try and get this into the right angle that you can see that it says that. There we go. So it says H/8 5mm. So this is the basic hook that you'll use for most patterns, and any pattern off of Repeat Crafted Me generally relies on this size. So I suggest if you want to get into crochet, this is the hook size that you kind of want to get for yourself. So we're going to start with what we call a magic ring, and it sounds a lot more complicated than it actually is. So you're going to take the end of your yarn on your fingers like so, and then you're going to take off that, sorry, it was trying to autofocus. So you're going to hold it with your thumb like so. You're going to wrap, not tightly, you're not going to yank it, just a wrap around the first 3 fingers like so. So I'll do it again. Feel free to pause the video at any time. So wrap around those 3 fingers like so, cross over and get your thumb to hold over both. Now you're going to insert the hook through the loop that you've made, turn the hook, pull that over like so, twist it off your hand, wrap around the hook once and pull through. I'll undo that and show you again so you can see again. Once again, pause the video if you need to. Once you've got the hang of this, it's going to make life so much easier instead of chaining. So you're going to just wrap around your fingers, cross over, hold with your thumb, let that go over your hand, over your hand like so. Get your hook, insert it through the first loop, turn, pull this one through, grab with your other hand, and pull through. Because we're doing double crochet, which is a longer stitch, we need to pull through twice like so. So I'll undo that stitch just so you can see. This is chains, sorry. So we've done our one. You want to go around, so you've got a loop, and pull down. So now we're going to start the first stitch, and this is the only stitch you need to know to make this pattern, apart from the slip stitch and the chain, which is essentially what we've just done. So you're going to, sorry, wrap the yarn over. Hold with your right hand both these 2 stitches. Then insert your hook into the loop. Always hold the loop with the other hand, like so. Then you're going to go back for that and pull it through. Now you have 3 stitches on your hook. Wrap around again, let go of the hoop. You're going to pull through 2, 1, 2, oh sorry, my camera went out of focus, around, and pull through 2 again. So we'll just do that again. Wrap around the hook, hold your loop with your left hand and hold your hook as you're going through. Go through the hole, pull the yarn that's through your hand already, and then you can do that as well. I should really slow this down for you. Why is it not focusing? There we go. Pull through 2 and pull through 2. That is a DC or a double crochet, and it is one of the most basic foundation stitches of crochet. So we actually need to have 11 of these, so we've done 2, so let's do the others. So wrap over the hook, go through the loop, pull the yarn through, pull it over like so, pull through 2, pull through 2. And then we've got 3 stitches on here, so we need to carry on. Yarn over, go through the loop, pull the yarn through, wrap around again, let go of your loop, pull through 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through 2 stitches again. There are plenty of videos up on YouTube which can slow it down even more for you and show you how to do this stitch, and done the other way where they hold it. So if you want to check that out, I suggest you just search for how to do double crochet on YouTube. So I'm just going to, whoopsie, carry on here doing the stitches. This is very awkward having a camera in front of me. I'm trying to remember where my fingers are. And feel free to stop at any stage and check how many stitches you've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to do 9 now. Oops, and we want 11. So 2 more. Oops. And the last one. Now the fun of a magic ring begins. See the end of your yarn here? You just simply pull it really tight. Don't pull it till it breaks, but just pull it really tight, and then you'll have this really cool looking circle that we need to complete. So to complete it, we need to find our first stitch. So you can do this in multiple of ways. You can either count back from here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or you can count from the side here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This stitch here is our first stitch right there. This is the chain we created, and here's the stitch. We want to go into this area here, and we want to insert our hook. Like so. Pull the yarn through, and this is creating a slip stitch. Pull it through again. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. There's our 2 chains. So on this round, we are now up to round 2 of our hat. We are going to make a double crochet again, and now it becomes a lot more easier to hold your work now that it's just formed really well. So let's do that again. Yarn over, go through this hole here between the 2 stitches, insert your hook, pull your yarn through, yarn over, 2 and 2. Now you have 2 chains in there, and you 2 stitches, and you want to do 2 in every single hole that you can see around for a total of 22. So yarn over, go through the hole, pull the yarn through, you have 3 stitches on your hook, yarn over again, go through 2, yarn over again, go through 2. That is the simple stitch of double crochet. I'm really sorry if I'm not teaching this the right way. Like I said, I'm not probably the best person to be doing this. And then we're just going to do 2 around on this hat. Keep playing with this until you get the hang of it. It's not going to be the easiest thing at first until your hands get used to it. I've been doing this for years now, so I don't have to really think about it. It's actually harder for me to slow it down and show you guys because I'm so used to going faster than I am now. So you just want to put 2 in every stitch around, and then when you're done you're going to close it off like we did on the last one. I'll bring you in a bit closer so you can see up close what I'm doing. Yarn over through this hole here, pull the yarn through, now you have 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, through the hole again, like so. And we're at our last stitch now, I think. Yep. Always make sure that when you get to the very end that you count. So we're going to make sure that we've got 22, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 and 22. So we are good to close this off now. So like I said, find your first stitch. It's not this one here, this is your chain. It's this one here. So you want to insert your hook into this loop here, pull your yarn through and pull it through that chain as well. Chain 2. We are now on to round 3. So it's basically the same over and over, but the difference is we're going to make this bigger now. So instead of making it 2 stitches each way, because that will make it too big and not round at all, we need to make it fit properly. So we're going to go 1 stitch and 2 stitches in the first hole, and then you're going to alternate. You're only going to do 1 in this one here. So I like to count as I go, so you can go 2, and 1. So I'll just stop and show you that. So we've got 2 here, then we've only got 1 in this hole here, and then we've got another 2 there, and then we've got 1 there, and you're just going to repeat that all the way around. When you get towards the end, you'll know that you've done it right if the pattern continues around uniformly. So if you get to the end and you've done a missed stitch somewhere, sorry, there's a little bit of fluff there, you will get to your last 2 stitches and it won't match up. So we've done 2, 1, so we need to do 2 here, and then 1 in the last one, and then that will match up with the very first stitches that we made, which was 2. If you end up with 2 then 2, you'll obviously have missed a stitch, or you've put it in the wrong place somewhere else. So now we have finished our round. We're just going to check that we have the right amount of stitches. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. And that goes well because we started with 11, then 22, now 33. And we want to end in the next round with 44. And that is the last increasing round. So we're going to join this round up again. So found our first stitch, go through, slip stitch, chain 2. This is what our hat looks like so far. And we're now going to do the same thing again, but we're going to add in an extra pattern row. So we're going to go 2, and now the counting for me comes a little bit differently. I don't count this 2. I always know that it's there, but I don't count it when I'm going around. I start off by going, 1, 2, so going into the next stitch doing 1, so now we've got 2 stitches there, and then 3 means I have to put 2 into this one, and then I'll just start from the beginning again saying 1, 2, 3, and then I know that on my last one I need to put 2 stitches. So as you can see, we have 2 here, then we have 2 on their own, and then 2 in this stitch. Excuse my little mess there. So we're going to go 1, 2, and in 3 we know we need to put 2 in. So as long as you're counting, you'll know that you've done it correctly. Whether or not this works for you, I don't know, but that's what works for me. So you've got our first one that's got 2 in it, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and just continue that around until you get to the end. So now we're back at the end again, and like I said in the last round, if you've done your pattern right, you should have 2 stitches left and you should be able to fit your last 2 in there. So you've done 2, so you're going to go 1 and 2, and the reason I don't count that first one when I very first started is here is 3 here, so we're going to join into here. We've known we've done our pattern right, so you don't actually have to count if you've made that correctly, but you can stop and make sure that you've got 44 there, but I know that I've got 44 as I was counting as I was doing it. So we're going to zoom out now that you can see the hat a little bit less on camera. So now this is the hat that you have, and this size is going to fit most newborn reborn babies. This is the size I use for most of my work. So let's do the next round, and you're going to do you can tell your round, by the circle. So we've got our first round, our second round, our third round, we've done our fourth round. Now we're up to round 5, and this is where it gets super easy, because all you're going to do is put 1 stitch in each hole around for a total of 44, and after that you're going to continue to do the same thing until you get to the length that you require. This hat pattern goes till I think around 10, but some reborn heads are smaller than others, so you may need to finish early. And what I always suggest you do is check your baby's head constantly. If you're unsure of how long you need something to be, have your baby on hand that you're making it for and test it on their head. Obviously not right now, you don't really have a hat size. You can try once you've finished this round. It will give you a guide of whether or not you've made it big enough to fit around the crown, and that is essentially what you need to be fitting around. The largest part of the head is where you need to be making sure that you are covering correctly. You don't want to put a hat on a baby that's too tight or too loose unless you have a specific reason for it, such as my Mickey Mouse hat that I am currently working on the theme for the Saskia that I'm working on. I intentionally made that bigger because his hair is so thick. I did not want that to run out. So we're just going to continue around until we finish, oops, I pulled the stitch, this round, and then you'll get an idea for what it's looking like. As you can see, it's already curling up because we're not adding we're not adding in any extra stitches. It's now starting to take its shape as we work in it. And I just want to stop here and point out that I have made a little bit of an error here. I still have 3 stitches on my hook instead of 2, and that is because I pulled too tightly and ended up making what we call a half double crochet. So it's an actual stitch we can just go through all 3 of those, and it actually makes a stitch shorter than the double crochet we're doing. However, we don't want that, and there's 2 ways to fix that. So you can either undo your stitch again and go in and do 2 and 2, or, and I'll just do it for argument's sake again, so I've got my 3 stitches. Instead of yarning over and going, oh no, what do? Just pull your hook down like that, and now you've got your 2 stitches. And you've just completed another double crochet. So don't feel like you've made a mistake and you have to undo it completely. You can just gently pull it through. And some people don't think this is actually a stitch here because it almost looks like it's hiding, but it's definitely your last stitch. Because you're reaching over to the first DC, we call it the invisible chain line, or the invisible joining line. Because you're reaching over to that first double crochet, that's why it looks like it's not a stitch, because we're actually going around. And you'll find when I turn this over, I'm just going to do my chain 2. See, we've got our hat, but it's inside out. We want it to make its shape like so. That's our hat shape. You can try that on a baby now, but if we tip it this way, you can see it's slightly going on a diagonal, and that means you're doing it correctly. So we're now on to round, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're just going to continue around doing your same stitch in each hole, just 1 stitch of double crochet in each hole, or each stitch, for a total of 44. Make sure you're counting if you're not confident that you have done that, and I will come back when I have done the appropriate amount of rounds. Okay, so I am back. I have done 8 rounds on the hat, and I've just grabbed some heads off my desk to show you the difference between baby heads and why we need to make sure we have the baby we're creating beside us. So on this side, oopsie, I have Sansa by Ping Lao, and she fits this size perfectly. Like, this is her size of hat, as you can see. And I'm going to be doing one more round, which I'll show you soon. This is not actually for her, it's for a baby overseas, but I've actually gone and measured it off a baby that I have here that's the same kit. And this is the length that I personally need, but like I'm showing you now, this fits her really nicely. And then beside her is her sister, Chloe by Natalie Blick, and there is quite a big difference, as you can see. So she would need more rounds, and the hat pattern goes for 10 rounds, but you could add on, so another 10 would be, another 2 would be there, and then that would be fine for her. But if her head was even bigger, you could add on another round. So it's just really down to customizing for reborns, because they're not like actual newborn babies. They don't fit a specific size. They are all very different from each other, because some sculpt artists, as you can see, can do really little ears, and some can do quite, reasonably sized ears. So that's just one area on a reborn. So we have to accommodate for the size of their noggins. So we've done that. So I've done my rounds and checked on the baby that I needed to measure off of, and I actually did 2. We're going to take that down to just chained 1. So hang on, I'll just come back to round 8 and close that off for you on camera. So instead of doing chain 2, we're going to do chain 1. Now I'm actually changing it up. I did say that we'd only do 1 stitch, but you're now going to learn a second one. So we're going to go in to this hole here, and I do apologize that my phone's going off, and we're not going to wrap over like we were. This is called single crochet, so we're doing exactly the same stitch without wrapping around. So now we've only got 2 on our hook, and pull through both. So let me show you again. Go through the hook without wrapping over, pull the yarn through. Now you've got 2 stitches, yarn over, go through 2. So you're doing double crochet but in half. So you're not doing this stitch where you go 2, 2. You're not doing that. what you're going to do, it just gives a really nice tidy edge, is single crochet. Just go in without yarning over and go through 2, and it's incredibly fast work. I'm going slow for your benefit, but again, if my tutorial for showing you how to do it is too hard to follow, go check out on YouTube single crochet. There are huge amounts of tutorials out there that slob it right down and really show you in depth how to do the stitch. YouTube is a fundamental place for learning any stitch. When I learn a new stitch, I've always come to YouTube to watch how it's done. I actually am better at reading patterns than watching videos, but for stitch work and learning a new stitch, I always have to come and check it out. So we're just going to single crochet around the edge of this hat, and we're going to use Sansa as our model, like so, in a moment. And it's not going to take us very long to do this at all. Single crochet is incredibly fast. You don't have to think about it too much. You just have to insert the hook, pull it through, yarn over, and go through 2. So we're at the end here. I've got 2 stitches left, I believe. Yeah. So we're going to go 1, 2, and now I can finish this hat off. So you can see this is our chain stitch here from our first chain. It looks different from the other one. You can't tell it so much as you could in these ones because it's not as long. But that is our chain. We're going to skip over that and then go into this one right beside it and slip stitch in. And you know how we were chaining? Well, we chain 1, right? Give it a little bit of a tug. Just leave it like that. Get your pair of scissors that you have and cut yourself off. Now without too much hassle, you can just pull that through, tighten it, and you have now completed your hat. The only step left to do to this hat is weave in the ends. You're going to need yourself a tapestry needle. If I can get it off the magnet, there we go. So this is a tapestry needle. It's got a really large eye hook. I'm not too sure if you can see that. My hand's not holding it very well. There we go. So you're going to just insert your yarn into that eye, and you need to secure off your magic ring. It's not going to come undone anytime soon, but I always secure everything into place. So you're just going to go through a bit of the yarn that you've created. Try to stay on this side, not go all the way through the hat. Make a knot, and you can secure this in any way you want, but I like to weave in the tail around the very first row we made on that magic ring, like so, and then I'll turn it around and head back the other way twice, pull it off the needle, and then trim right down to that base. So then all you can see is you can't even see it, there's a little bit of it there, but it's all secured in. And then again you come down to here, oops, thread on your needle to your yarn, and I just like to follow up the joining line, so you can see where that is by following your stitches that you've done. And don't tug this so tight that it ends up pulling that in and making a dent. Make sure that you give that a nice edge, and then you can thread this whichever way you want to up that invisible chain joining line, whatever way you want to. I just go back forth like a zigzag pattern because I feel like that's the best way that things don't come undone. And then once you're finished, you can just trim off and your hat is done. Okay, so it's been a few days since we finished making this hat together, and I just wanted to come back and show you the added detail that I have put on this hat. So this is entirely optional, you didn't have to do this at all. All I did was chain up a rope, as you can see here, and went and thread it through every 2 stitches. So and then just tied it at the end. So very, very simple thing to do if you want me to show you how to do that in another tutorial video. Let me know. Otherwise you can just check out a video on YouTube that just shows you how to chain, and then just do a chain of however many stitches you need to go all the way around your hat without bunching it up so it ends up looking like that. You want it to be nice and flat so it still keeps the shape that it originally had. So like I said, it's been a few days. I also made this hat as well. So these are a gift set for a client of mine, and this is for her twin B, and it is a smaller hat from this one. Width wise, you can't really tell because you can't really see the hat behind it. There you go, you can see a little bit. So it's smaller width wise, but it's actually taller than the other hat, and I just want to explain why that has happened, because the whole point of me showing you this pattern was to show you that it is entirely customizable. So this is for a newborn size baby. This is for a Anastasia by Olga Auer that I've specifically made this for, and like I said in the video, we did 8 rows here, and then we finished with a single crochet. This hat here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's exactly the same size, it's just different actually. Oh, that's quite interesting. So there's 8 rows again. I thought I had done 10, that's why I was taller. And then the single crochet round again. But the reason why this looks taller instead of as wide as this one is because this hat originally designed to have another 2 rows on it, and flare out more so it takes its shape as it gets longer. This one has less stitches on it than this one here, and that is why it has taken the more appropriate shape. This is kind of what the hat should look like, this one, when it's finished with all 10 rows. So the first 3 rows are the same, so we've just did our magic ring round here with our 11 stitches, and then the 2 stitches in each round here, and then the 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 in the 3rd round. In the 4th round, however, for our last round of increase, on this one here I did 1, 2, 3, so 2 stitches in the first one, then 1, 2, and then 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we counted it as 1, 2, 3. That's how I did it in that hat. In this one, however, I did 2 stitches in the first stitch, 9 stitches of DC on their own or double crochet, and then 2 stitches. So this hat has a lot less stitches than this one here, and that is why it's got a different shape. And then obviously I just continued around, and I measured off of my best friend's twin B to see how long I needed the hat to be. So if you want the pattern, I will be including the modification to this pattern in the description bar below, as well as the actual pattern for this. Like I said, some people learn from videos, some people learn from reading a pattern, and I have done my best to add in the pattern as the video has progressed to show you what it means when we're doing that, so you'll be able to read your own patterns in the future. So I hope that you like both these hats and give this a go. Please, if you do give this project a go, hashtag it with DLRN crochet projects, and I'll be able to find it. So if you share a picture on Instagram or Facebook, hashtag it with that, maybe tag me in it as well so I see it, or on YouTube if you wanted to show it in a YouTube video, just put the hashtag there or comment for me to have a look, and I'll be all too happy to have a look and be really happy to see the progress of you all doing crochet, because it is totally an amazing hobby to have, especially when we've got reborns. We can make our own things and it's very, very rewarding. So I will be doing some more of these videos in the future. I'm actually looking forward to doing a baby blanket, and I know that sounds like a huge project, but I have a very basic pattern in mind to do this with you all, and I think that we should do that together. So let me know if you're enjoying these. I'm also going to be adding in a couple of other kind of crochet video series along the way. I'm just going to try and expand the crochet as much as I can, because I do a lot of it and I might as well share it with you all. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope that this has helped someone, or at least a lot of you, I'm hoping a lot of you, but at least one, I should have said that way, how to crochet. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.